Hey y'all, Austin here with Outer World Media. Welcome back to another monthly wrap up. We are talking about August 2024, guys. It's pretty good month worth of reading as far as how many books, the quality of books and whatnot. I had a buddy read or fellowship read in there, as well as started a new series, continued an old series. Pretty good month, I think. So without any more interruptions, let's get into it. As always, though, I want to say I hope y'all had a good month, got a lot of reading done and whatnot, and just enjoyed your month of August. Let's go into September, starting off good. Sorry if you hear anything in the background. That's going to be my dog. My wife is at work today. So the dog won't leave me alone. But getting into what did I read the last month, guys? Well, I did a buddy or fellowship read with my buddy Kevin over at Kevin Toll Reads. We picked up Flint by Louis L'Amour. I know Kevin, enjoyed this book more than I did. I still enjoyed the book for what it was. Definitely was a good book by Louis L'Amour. A little bit of a longer one by Louis. Clocking around 200 something pages. I enjoyed it. It's a pretty good western. Y'all should definitely pick it up. Next, the last three books that I read for the month of August, I picked up Zane Grey's The Westerner. I have my review coming out here in 2 3 days. What I will say again, the cover is deceiving. Don't believe the cover and watch my review and you'll understand what I mean. But that's what I'll say. The cover is deceiving, and this again, not that long of a book. It's like 125 pages. I did pick up another Louis L'Amour. I picked up The Man Called Moon. I really enjoyed this one. Look for this review as well. It'll be out in a couple days. Really enjoyed that one. And I didn't point this out on my review, but I think the cover for this, like the background and the silhouette there, matches The Man from Skibbereen, something like that. Skibbereen, something like that by Louis L'Amour. I'm not sure if these two books are related. I'm gonna have to find that out. Next, I did pick up Mr. Craig Johnson's Depth of Winter, book 14. I'm not sure when this review is going to be up, in all honesty, guys. I'm quite a bit of ways from getting to doing this review on the series and whatnot. What I will say, this does pay off if you stick with the series. This was not everything I was hoping it was going to be, but it was still a good book. The big boy for the month, as far as how big the book is and how long it was Brian Lee Durfee's The Forgetting Moon. Go watch my review, guys. I can't say enough about this book. This book was freaking awesome. It really was. I want y'all to go watch that review. I don't want to give anything away on here. I did pick up another Louis L'Amour book. I picked up Fair Blows the Wind by Louis L'Amour. What I will say about this book, if I had to choose between this book and The Lonesome Gods, I would pick this book. I feel like this is the counterpart to Lonesome Gods. Lonesome Gods is all completely West, cowboys. This one's a little bit more like historical fiction, as far as takes place a good part in England, and he comes to America for just a little bit. I really enjoyed this one. Go check out the review of this one. I did pick up a John Grisham book, and I caught a little bit of flack down in the comments from a couple people saying that I just misunderstood the book, and that's a good possibility. I don't pretend to be anybody that knows anything and everything about legal thrillers and whatnot, but I picked up John Grisham's The Partner. And what I will say about this, again, it's the internet. This is YouTube. There's no need to fight because nobody wins when you argue on the internet, or especially on YouTube. You know, uh, I enjoyed the book, but not as much to what I was wanting. I've read, A Time to Kill. I've read The Firm. Those had me on the edge of my seat. This book, again, go watch my review, but it really felt like the main character was playing chess and everybody else was playing checkers. I mean, I to hold my attention in a legal thriller, I want to be on the edge of my seat. Like, how are they going to get out of this? I don't want to be like, oh, well, he's got to figure it out. Why the hell don't the bad guys have it figured out? Like, they don't have the upper hand at all. Which, and again, I enjoyed the book, but it just wasn't what I was wanting to read. It wasn't what I was expecting. And again, that's on me as far as what my expectations were. I shouldn't have assumed anything. You know what that old saying is. But again, guys, Got a little bit of flack on that one from a couple people. The next thing I read was Craig Johnson, The Western Star. And I didn't read these out of order. That's just how the stack was. This is book number 13 of the Longmire series. Really, really enjoyed this one quite a bit. I mean, this is definitely up there and one of my favorites for the Longmire series, and I'm gonna have to definitely do a review and ranking of the entire series here, or at least the first 15 books here soon. I really enjoyed this one quite a bit. I mean, Walt's on a train going across, the state. You got a serial killer possibly on this train or somewhere. Go watch my review. I can't say enough. I'm gonna give away stuff if I talk about it. Go watch the review again. Really, really enjoyed that book. And then I started my reread of the Angel. Oh, can't even think. The Indian Lake trilogy. That is, I picked up My Heart Is a Chainsaw by Mr. Stephen Graham Jones. What I will say, go watch my review. A couple of the guys were kind in the comments. They had said that was probably my most enthusiastic review, and I'm glad that came across. I really am, because I love this book. I really do. This really has a contender to be one of my favorite books of all time. I mean, this is just awesome. I love it. All the horror movie references, everything. Go check it out. I know a couple of the guys have read him. I know that Faceless had said, yeah, it was okay. I didn't really like it, and you know what? That's fine. I'm sure there's a book out there that Faceless really loves it. I'd be like, it's okay. You know what? This is what reading's about. We're not all gonna agree on everything. So I really enjoy the fact that my review made a couple people go, hey, you know what? I might want to pick that up, or that started some discussion, because that's what I want for this channel. But again, guys, really enjoy this. If you have not read it, go pick it up. I absolutely love this book. So if you're keeping track, guys, here, I gotta rearrange this stuff because it's about to fall over. If you are keeping track, guys, that is 9 books for the month. I think I said I was going to try to read. I think I had 7 set aside, and I said if I read 5, I'll be happy. I got 9 books done, and one of them was huge. So I'm really happy with how this last month went. I normally don't care about numbers or anything like that, but I still like to kind of keep some statistics just for myself. So at the end of the year, I can have, this is how many pages I read. Feel a little bit good for myself. So I gotta get some coffee in me, guys. Kind of going over the numbers again. 9 books. How many pages I read kind of astounded me. I read 3,272 pages for the month. That amazes me that I read that many pages, guys. That is definitely up from the previous month, which was sitting at 2,122. So definitely over 1,000, a little over 1,000 pages more is what I read this month than the previous month in July. And I believe in July I read 10 books. They were shorter books. I will give you that. They were shorter books. But again, guys, I really enjoyed this last month and whatnot. There was a few contenders up there for book of the month, in all honesty. What I will say, My Heart is a Chainsaw is not included in my book of the month just because it's a reread. If you know, I'm sure everybody knows Mike's book reviews. I remember a video he did one time where he's talking about his book of the month and how he wasn't going to allow a reread to be eligible just because he knew going into it, and he made the comment that all Stephen King books probably would be his book of the month. And I thought that was a good idea. If it's a reread, don't include it. At least I'm not going to, so I'm going to take that, that out of Mike's system and follow that same thing. So there's a couple books up there for book of the month here, guys. And after some deliberation and whatnot, I don't think it's probably going to come to any surprise what my book of the month was. And that's Brian Lee Durfee's The Forgetting Moon. This was a 5-star review for me. This was such a great read, guys. This really was, I really would love to talk to Brian once I finish this trilogy and talk to Brian about this, this series and whatnot. I'm sure he's probably had a million, interviews on this and whatnot. But what I will say is if the rest of the series or trilogy is anything like this, I'm gonna love it. It's gonna be one of my favorite series of all time. I absolutely love this. This is in, you know, this is up there for contender for book of the year. I mean, this really is. This is such an awesome book. It's a 700 something page book. It does not feel like 700 some pages, but when I got to the end of the book, I was like, no, please, let there be more. And thankfully, I bought all three books at the same time, so I have all three books. But I didn't want this to end. I really didn't. So again, go pick this book up. I know it's daunting. There's a couple people are like, yeah, I've had my end on my mind and whatnot. Um, Go pick it up. I promise you will not be dissatisfied with this book. It is an amazing book. If you are along for the journey, enjoy every second of it. But again, guys, that is going to be it for the monthly wrap up. I do appreciate everybody that stopped by and checked out the videos this last month. We have the channel's grown a little bit and whatnot this last month. We're on a little bit of a boom there for a little while, and it's kind of teetered out, which is fine. You know what? I'm happy with whatever numbers we got because I got some great people to talk to in the comments about what I read, what y'all are reading, and other stuff. So you know what? The numbers don't really matter to me. Like I said, I'm just happy I got people to talk to about this stuff. I really do enjoy talking to every single one of you about these books and whatnot. Let me know down in the comments, what were your books that you read in the month of August? Let me know, what was your favorite book? Let me know what was your favorite review that I did, or let me know if there's a video you would like me to do. I'd be more than happy to oblige you and do it. But yeah, y'all have a good one.